If we want to achieve our dreams, we've got to realize that we might not get there. It's not the sunniest interpretation, but it's something that we've got to come to terms with, right? I recently found an acronym that perfectly describes this, and it's the word DREAM, if you haven't guessed yet. And it's where D stands for discipline, R stands for routine, A stands for action, well, E stands for education, A stands for action, and M stands for mentality. I promise I can spell. But yes, so we'll apply those to my dreams, right? I've got two main dreams. One is having a family, and two is becoming a successful storyteller. If you see my previous videos, I love acting and writing, all the other good stuff. I'm not perfect at it right now, you know, everything's a work in progress, but I love doing it, which is what consistently, you know, gets me to keep coming back to it, right? So we'll apply that to the dream, right? We've got to have discipline, we've got to have action and all the other good stuff, but I guess, you know, we'll say discipline. I've got to have the discipline to continue writing, to continue acting, to continue participating in these projects. I've got to have the routine of, you know, having a schedule. If I'm going to write, I've got to write a certain amount of words per day or per week or whatever it might have you. If I'm going to, you know, be in that field, I'm going to have to be educated on that field. For lighting, I'm going to have to know about color theory. For costumes, I'm going to have to know historical accuracy if we're doing a historical story, and so on, right? And the action, we can have all the planning in the world and the education and the background and all the other good stuff, but if we don't act on it, well, we're not going to get anywhere, right? So that brings us to the fifth one too, which is to continue acting on it, to continue educating ourselves, to continue building routines, to continue having discipline. We've got to have a good mentality. And it's not just about doing it, you know, getting up every day and doing it just because. It's the mentality of knowing that we might not get there, but not holding on to that, but instead doing the dream in spite of we might not get there. Not quitting because we won't get there, but doing it because we might not get there. And, you know, that's the sort of craziness in it. That's why, you know, it's a dream, it's a wish, it's a hope, it's a prayer, it's faith, trust, and pixie dust, right? We don't know. That's why people say don't follow your dreams or whatever it is. But it's a belief, right? And we've got to act on that belief in spite of that not coming true, because we're certainly not going to get there at all if we don't act on it, obviously. But we have to love it. If we want that for ourselves, we have to put ourselves through all of that craziness to get to the other side of that dream, knowing that it might not be there, even if we put all that in, right? But it's knowing it and doing it anyways. And I feel that is what's going to give us the best chance at achieving our dreams. If we can do everything and be okay with the fact that it might not go anywhere, but we're going to do it anyways because of that chance and holding on to that hope, right? That's why it's about loving it. That's why I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing no matter what happens, and I'm going to keep educating myself, and I'm going to keep getting better at it because I love it. I'll see you all in the next video. Have a great rest of your day.